Yesterday when we were talking over email, I had made a comment on some, I think it was a flow trailer on YouTube, that this film will sweep the Oscars or something along the line. And I forgot about it. And then yesterday somebody replied back, "You were right. It won the Golden Globes." So it's just a powerful film, and I hope people get to see it. And the great thing is you don't need to know any language. It's a universal film.
Yeah, it's funny. We were talking. I was talking with a friend the other day about this is slightly off topic, but Mr.
Yeah, yeah.
Bean, the comedy character Mr. Bean,
Right,
and how
right.
that film, when they did the film version of that TV series with Rowan Atkinson, he's obviously a kind of goonish character that gets into lots of mishaps. But when they did, Mr. Bean goes on holiday, I think it was called. It was a huge hit, and of course that's because it's a practically silent work, and there is no language barrier. And in a way, I don't know how Flow has done so far at the box office, or how it will do on the basis of the Golden Globe and possible other awards triumphs as well. But you feel like it has potential to do really well everywhere simply because of the lack of language barrier. I mean, you could easily get released in China, for example, which is obviously can be a tricky market to release films in, but here, has a really good chance of appealing to, you know, uh, people from China just as it could appeal to anywhere else. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it does if it gets picked up by companies that have the muscle to market it properly.
And the one of the great things about this film, aside from all the stuff that we talked about, it I mean, yeah, you can argue that it's the end of the world or it was the end of the world at some other time because we don't know the time period. It didn't have any political agenda. It was just a story. And I think people now, the audience right now is in that time mind frame where they do not want to be preached. It was just a simple, flood came in or the sea levels rose or whatever that was, and their survival. And again, there was no, yeah, I mean the dog. I thought the dog character was kind of interesting. There's always one of those among a group of friends or in many of those disaster movies where somebody's just in their own world. And I thought that was kind of cutely done. It was really nicely done the way they how put in the dog and the cat was kind of the lead along with the bird, I would say.
Mm. It's what did you make of what I was touching on earlier about the style of animation, which is basic on one level. Did that put you off initially, or did you just go with it?
I was trying to figure out in the first 2 3 minutes what kind of animation it is. Um, and when the waters level start rising, then it just kind of became to me more like 2D slash 3D slash motion capture. Like it just felt like everything to me. And then interestingly enough, now with the advent of technology, I mean, in the last 4 months, AI has gone through the roof, especially in visuals. Like there's Google VO2, there's OpenAI, Sora. Had the movie come out now, I would have guessed it had to do a lot with AI. But I mean, they came out at Cannes, so I highly doubt there's any of that. But I just felt it was a combination. It felt like a combination of 2D because of the painting, but 3D objects, and it also felt like motion capture at certain points. I again, I was thinking about that, but the story was and the characters were so well done that I completely forgot about it after 2 3 minutes. And even if it was AI, which it isn't, I couldn't care less at this point because the film was amazingly done.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at what films it beat to the globe. So you had like Moana 2 and Inside Out 2. Obviously, Inside Out 2 is the biggest hit of
Yeah,
2024.
yeah.
The Wild Robot, which we touched upon, which is is an excellent studio movie. There's no doubt about that. And the Wallace and Gromit movie, which was shown in the UK on Christmas Day, and it is absolutely fantastic. It's
Yeah,
one of their
I
best.
love I love the movie. I love that
Yeah,
movie.
and I have to say, this is my favourite animation of the year: Memoir of a Snail, the Australian stop motion animation, which is a brilliant piece of work. Not really that suitable for kids, although maybe the director would disagree with me. But it kind of means that's a really strong year in general for animation. I mean, I wasn't blown away by Inside Out 2, but I appreciate that, lots of people loved it, and obviously, as I said, it was the biggest hit of the year. That's got to count for something. And Moana 2 has done pretty well at the box office as well. And yeah, and these other ones are all really interesting, innovative animation. So it feels like it's a very strong year almost. I mean, most of the time these days you hear a lot about Annecy, the animation festival, which I think is where Flow also sort of appeared, and
Hmm.
that seems to be a stronger and stronger kind of platform, let's say, for launching animations every year. And I don't know, it just feels like a really robust time for the medium.